Hi, everybody. It's Michelle. Welcome to week 2. I am recording in my bedroom at home because we're having a snow day here in South Dakota. It's April 10th, and of course, it's a huge blizzard outside. Um, and there's even been thunder and lightning, so it's been kind of an interesting experience. So I'm sorry that the angle is not great. I know you're seeing like my trying to fix that a little bit. You're seeing my fan. Sorry, my husband and kids are home and I have no place else to record. So I hope some of you can relate, but we're just going to make it work. All right, so first off, I just want to tell you how much I enjoyed week 1. I loved listening to your podcast, hearing about who you are, how long you've been teaching, the things that you enjoy. A lot of you, there's my dog. Hi, my dog's here. All right. I didn't know she was in the room. So shared things like, somebody's great with the Rubik's Cube, another person's raising chickens. It's all good stuff. It was also great to learn about what issues you felt were most important in education. Number of similarities across the different podcasts, certainly not all exactly the same, but some very well constructed discussion about why you selected these issues and how they relate to your personal philosophy of education. And so, with that being said, it was a great start to the week. Let's just go through what's going to happen this week and what I'm looking for. I don't want this to get too long. First and foremost, you're going to have 2 chapters to read, chapters 3 and 4. Sorry, I'm looking at the book right over here because I want to get the title right. Chapter 3 is what does it mean to say the school is doing well? And with this, you're going to do a small group discussion. And I want to just take you up here and show you the information for textbook small group discussion. Okay, this is at the top of our page, and you can see here is textbook discussion forum instructions and grading. And here is the textbook small group discussion questions. And when you click on this, I'm just going to jump over to it. I know it doesn't quite, my screen isn't quite right, but basically, I'm going to move this over. Hang on one second. Basically, here's what I have for you, okay? And for each week, here we are, we're in week 2, here's chapter 3, and here is the discussion question that I want you to answer. Remember, you're broken up into 2 groups, so you'll have a smaller group of friends, classmates, who you will all post to the same question, and then you will respond to at least one peer, one other classmate in your group in a substantial fashion. Keeping in mind that half of the points for this activity are your post and half are your response. And so I am expecting, as I've mentioned before, a fairly robust, well thought out reaction to other classmates' posts. And of course, what I'm hoping for is you get in there and you really chew on this issue and you break it apart with this prompt and talk about things that maybe you thought about or haven't thought about and react to them. Okay, so keeping that in mind, the other thing I want to remind you of, and I'm going to take us back to our site here, is I want you to remember that you need to post every week when you do a small group discussion post. I need you to post by Sunday night. And the reason I need you to post by Sunday night is because your classmates have to read your posts and react to them. And they have until Wednesday to get that done. Well, you all have until Wednesday to get that done. So please be timely, get your post done by Sunday night. I will be looking for them if they're not on time and there isn't a valid reason why you weren't able to get it done on time. You didn't communicate with me and make a contact with me to get it approved that you could be late. I will deduct points. So please don't make me have to do that. I don't want to. So just get everything in by Sunday night, and then you have the rest of the week to read all your other classmates' posts in your group, and then pick 1 or 2 to react to. You only need 1 post reply, though. Okay? Now, let's talk about chapter 4. With chapter 4, I'm just going to reach over and I'm going to get the book, and I want you to see. This is chapter 4, Art and Imagination, Overcoming a Desperate Stasis. This chapter is challenging. I reread it every semester I teach this class. There is so much meat in this particular chapter. I just really want to caution you to take your time. The author is a deep writer, talks about a lot of things, and for some people, myself included, some things just go woo right over my head, and I have to read and read again. And I want you to take your time with this because every semester I teach this class, I have someone who reads it and moves right into writing very quickly, and they miss subtle points that the author is making. So just know that you're full and fair warning that it is a challenging chapter. You might have to reread it a couple of times. All right. With that being said, I want to look at the instructions for doing your text reflection. So I'm going to go up to it again. Again, everything's up here for you. Here is the individual textbook reflection instructions and grading. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to move my screen over again so you can see everything here. All right. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. All right. So keep in mind for your reflections, this you're going to type. You're going to type it in Word or a Google Doc or something like that, and then you're going to upload it to a Dropbox, and you'll see the Dropbox. But what I want to see in your typed double-spaced, hopefully one-page reflection, it can be a little bit more than one page, but please try not to exceed one page. Here is what I want to see. You're going to do a brief summary of the main ideas of the chapter. That is worth 5 points. So one paragraph or two if you have to summarize the main points of the chapter. Then in the next paragraph, you're going to do a reaction. You're going to react personally to the content. I am looking for you to tell me, one, why the chapter did or didn't interest you. I don't care if you tell me you didn't like the chapter. I'm good with that. Just tell me why. If you liked it, tell me why. And then share specific things that were eye-opening or helpful. Explain how the chapter relates to the needs of teachers or others in education. That's something else I will be looking for. Those 3 things I am definitely looking for you to get all 10 points. So if I don't find out if the chapter did or didn't interest you, if I don't find out specific things that were eye-opening or helpful, and if I don't find out how the chapter relates to teachers or others in education, you're not going to get all 10 points. Okay? So write to the rubric. And then finally, consider the overall intent of the chapter and the author's message. A lot of times, the author is promoting a viewpoint about something they see that should happen in education. Sometimes these chapters have been written many years ago. That doesn't mean that their points still aren't valid, but what I want you to think about is, can you tell if the concerns presented in the chapter have changed in any way recently? Do you believe schools have made any attempts to achieve what the chapters are proposing? So those 2 questions I'm looking for you to react and write about. Okay? So you'll say, while this was brought up in 1965, 50 years later, it's still an issue, and here's what schools are doing about it. Okay? It's something like that. So it's basically asking you to look at what the author is presenting. Has anything changed, or is this still a problem, or do you feel like this is no longer current? What steps have schools taken to work on this issue that the author is writing about? Okay. And then finally, I do expect that you edit and do a nice job. I am looking for you to use proper citation. Because you're working with one chapter, you don't have to have citations for everything because it's obviously all coming from one chapter. But if you do any direct quoting, I am looking for you to use proper APA in-text citation. If you need help with that, look at your APA manual. Everybody should have one for this class. That will be kind of an underlying theme with all of our writing throughout this course, is that I'm going to want you to practice your APA. And there will be, for every written activity, some expectations that you've paid attention to APA standards. It will become more important when you write your professional essay review and when you do your final project. Okay? So remember that everything should be double-spaced, size 12 font, and at least 1 page, but not more than 2. I am reading a lot of different papers, and so that's not only a courtesy to me to not overextend the page limit, but it's also because I'm encouraging you to be concise. And that is another skill that I think is important as a master's level student. Okay, as always, if you have any questions about this project and you're not sure, please feel free to talk to me. I am here for you. If you want me to take a look at it before you turn it in just for a quick feedback, I would be happy to do that. Okay. All right, so I want to go back now and cover the last thing for this chapter. Just one second, hang on. Take us back to week 2. Gosh, it doesn't want to go. There we go. All right, we're moving. Okay, so the last thing is just very quickly, I want to talk about current events. And that's the other thing you will do this week. So remember, we've got chapter 3 with your textbook small group discussion, post by Sunday night, reply by Wednesday. Your chapter 4 individual text reflection will be due no later than Wednesday of next week. And then current events, you have group 1. This week was group 2 last week, so it's flopping. Remember to pick something from the general accessible media. Print can be online. That's fine as long as anybody can get to it. If your great Aunt Sally can find the article who's not in education, great, then it's probably going to work. Okay, we did a nice job with it last week. The one thing I have to tell you is for some reason there wasn't an expectation of when you should post your current event. Just like your textbook small group discussion, I need you to post by Sunday night. And that's because we've got group 2 over here that needs to respond and react. So please be courteous. Remember, other people are waiting on you to post in reply. So you need to get those articles in. Okay? All right. So from my home and bedroom in the middle of our snowpocalypse, I wish you well. Have a great week, and I will see you online. Thanks, everyone.